faster. I give up. I've never given up on anything before. I have never given up on anything. All right, maybe I'll do the orientation is locked. Okay. 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 Orientation locked. Okay. All right. I give up. I give up. Okay. 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 All right. It's not possible for me to. I don't have what it takes, I guess. Yeah. Everything is perfectly correct. Smart view, mirror screen. See, there's no rotation. There's no. There's no rotation. I can't rotate it. I cannot rotate it. I've been running live for 2 minutes and 30 something. There's somebody that's watching, but sad and pathetically me, unable to turn the camera the way I want to. It has a mind of its own. So I have to just contend with the way it is. Hello. I'm trying to set up my live feed here, but unfortunately, I cannot rotate it the way I want to. Kazakhstan, Jim, Fred, Jaden. Well, hello, wonderful people in the world. It's good to see you. Let me introduce you to myself. I'm Old Mack. I'm in vertical mode, and I want to go horizontal, but I can't turn the phone over. If I do, let me see. Let me see if I can. Video is not available. How about that? I'm trying to see if I can get this. Here we go. And when I turn this thing like this, it's supposed to automatically turn. Yeah, but you can see it ain't doing it. Because, see, I've got what you call a piece of garbage for a phone. Oh, yeah, Bama. Yo, yeah, Bama. I have a good friend, Ray Gregory, that lives in Georgia. I don't want to offend him, but I was happy to see our boys continue from where they left off last year without Nick Saban, Kevin Smith. Yeah, with that old Nick, he certainly is going to be missed, but You can see the boys are doing a pretty good job. All I got is this big bright light behind me here. Maybe if I do it like this, it won't be looking so washed out. William Revels. I am the American Santa. Ho, 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 ho. I see I've got some boys and girls in here today wishing for an early Christmas. Well, your wish has been granted. Old Santa Claus, old Saint Nick. I've got a Santa Claus hat right behind me. Yeah, I got a Santa Claus hat back there. Oh, Kevin, over in Las Vegas. Cowboys all the way. Yeah, go Cowboys. Oh, hello. Zuri, I believe it is. Zuri. Hello, Zuri. Shout out Santa Claus. Oh, look at this right here. Oh, does that make me look at my Santa Claus belly? Whoa. It's amazing how much fun you can have with. Well, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Old Mack's channel. Old Mack is located just north of Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm in the heart of Dixie. This is my radio call, N4DRR. I'm a ham radio operator for 48 years. And Sterling Wheel, I see Sterling Wheel is in here. Yeah, greeting Earthlings. No, the mushroom Sterling Wheel is not kicking in. This is not old Santa Claus from the North Pole. It's Old Mack. Now, there ain't much difference between old Santa Claus and Old Mack. You just ask Angelique. See, it's Christmas for her every day of the week because she has my credit cards. Oh, let me see. Oh, I see a lot of happy souls in here today, and well, when you go, I guess, onto the World Wide Web, it's pretty contagious. There's people from everywhere. I would feel better if I could rotate my phone, which I can't. Nope. I've tried every way in the world to rotate the phone. I pull down from the top and put it in rotate. No. If I turn it sideways, it's most unfortunate, but what are you going to do, right? Sterling Wheel, whereabouts are you at in the world today? You get around, I know you get around quite a bit. And a lot of wonderful people in here today. If you look at my web page, well, oh yeah, there's a little picture of me. There's a little picture of me. I used to have big hair, and I had a big beard. My beard was really big, but what happened is, can you see that letter C? Maybe that's backwards. The big C come to visit Old Mack. The big C. And Old Mack had an awful time with the big C. But we're not going to go there. Big C's alive. For all you adoring fans there, Old Mack is 84 years old. and he's already lived multiple lifetimes. And he's grateful for every day he's got. But what used to be beautiful is it. I've got pictures on Facebook when I didn't have no hair. I looked like a hairless Santa Claus. I I I'm, I don't do the politics. Reason being is that's a personal thing. I mean, if you ask me about my religion, I'll tell you that God resides within me. And what resides within you is none of my concern. And as far as politics, I don't get involved in it because what you can do is you can cause so much pain and agony if you're not for this side or you're not for that side or if you're this. I'm 84 years old. I have voted ever since John F. Kennedy. I voted for a movie star one time. His name was Ronald Reagan. And unfortunately, within a year after I voted for Mr. Reagan, I was unemployed for 2 years because of the airline. I was with aviation, and they had the airline traffic. They shut down the air traffic controllers, and Old Mack here done bit to dust. And let me see, 84 years old. You're all politics. We respect you. You've been all. Hey, I have voted all my life the way I see fit. And then if you demand to know my politics, you'd also want to know if I'm wearing shorts today. It is my business. I may not be. The other day, Sterling Will, you might have not have been around, but I did a whole entire hour and 40 something minutes naked. Well, I had a shirt on, but I didn't have nothing else on. I didn't need to. I'm sitting here in my house here in the woods, and yeah, I was naked as a jaybird. And that felt real good. Well, I didn't put the camera down on me, but uh, Kevin Smith, man, um, been married for 20, and I'm 48 now, 24 years. Been married for 24 years. Let me tell you, I was married 5 times. Now, that is not a thing to brag about. I hope God forgives me because I've broken all the promises. Love until we die and all that stuff. I died 100 deaths with some of the marriages. I was dead every day. And the only way to get life back in my body was to move on. And I did that. But I was married to a woman for 33 years. Now, all my younger women that I was married to, they produced children with me. And we have a lot of children from different wives, different mothers. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Stepdads, stepmamas, stepbabies, stepchildren. Um, I uh, I lived with Ruth. We was married. Um, it was one of them kind of like dream marriages. My wife and I, after I proposed and we set a date, we went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Coeur d'Alene is right a little bit east of Spokane, Washington. And we married at a very famous marriage place. It's a lodge where they have a chapel, and it's where a lot of people go to get married. It's like going to Vegas to get married. But we got married over there in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And I made a whole video of the whole thing. I had my family was all around me, and I made a video of us having our little oh, even up there when we got the marriage license, and the whole wedding was videoed, and even though I was a veteran of getting married, I was that was my fifth wife. Four of my let's see, yeah, four of my wives are deceased. Um, I loved every one of them. Uh, I guess in my own way. I don't know. Maybe I. Oh, let me see. Maybe I scan up here. I don't know. I can't. I'm not seeing any more text up there on the screen here. Um, oh, Sterling Will, man, what a man! You said it right there. I'd rather be defined by the deeds that I do. I will go out of my way to help you in any way I can. I if I lived the way you wanted me to live, or anybody else, I'd be living your life and not mine. And so I will not belong to a cult or anything that dictates to me how I'm going to live my life. And that's not being mean to you. I mean, you don't have no need to know how I'm going to pull the handle. Um, I'm not going to make or break your life one way or the other, but I could make my life miserable if I had to, talk about things that I'm not interested in. Now, I love nature. Let me tell you, you people go to Old Mack's page, and you'll see out here, I feed raccoons. Raccoon's a loving little animal that gets so mistreated. A raccoon has an average lifetime of about 3 years. From the time they're born, a raccoon is pretty well used up. 5 years, this is in captivity. No, not in captivity, in the wild. In captivity, they've been known to live 15 years. It's a hard world in a raccoon world. And I try to make the raccoon's life a little better by feeding them. I know I talked with the game warden, and they said, oh, you shouldn't encourage them. But I'm going to tell you, I have sometimes as many as 20 little baby raccoons. They call kits, Kits, kits. And they come up on the back deck, and they'll come to the back door right here. I have a glass storm door, and they pat on the door when they want me to bring food. I put food on the deck. I used to have a 55-gallon feeder, and what happened is I broke my leg. I had a compound fracture. I could show y'all some scars, but hell, why bother you with scars? I've got them down here. Hell, I got scars. Yeah, I got scars. Um, anyhow, um, after I broke my leg, hauling the feed up onto the deck and putting it into the container, I had to get little Angelique to help me to drag them up the deck. And then I got me a little container thing that had wheels on it, and then I could roll it up the deck. But it was a struggle to feed the animals. And I'm going to tell you the other struggle. I've been retired for 29 years. I I've been I left the company in June the 30th, 1995. And my income has never changed. It's always been the same. I was spending every month $180 a month to feed the little animals. And we were doing a lot of riding. I put 6,000 miles on the bike this year. So we were doing a lot of riding. I had to get my buddy, I made a trip out to the west, and I had to get my buddy to come over and put food in there for me. And it got to be a struggle. So I started weaning the animals off, and now I give them feed in a single pan, and when that's gone, that's all they get. I just feed the babies. Well, I can't just say I feed the babies. I put it out there, and we've got little baby ones. See, the babies are born in June, and I've had as many as 30 raccoons on the deck. I used to let people, when I had my raccoon channel up, it was called the Raccoon Ranch. I used to let people name the babies, and I would show them pictures of the babies. I would, do a video so they could see their little babies. And I got, I have a lot of wonderful friends out there that enjoyed the raccoons. You want to hear a drinking story? Hey, sick bastard. Hey, how you doing? We got Sterling Wheel. That's one of my regulars. We got old sick bastard here in here. Anybody get a chance, go check out Sick Bastard 71. He's a super nice guy. And yeah, I've got a lot of good friends. I got people that, well, we're in a family of bike riders. And and we're a big brotherhood of bikers. Our brotherhood extends all the way. I've got brothers in Australia, mates. I got brothers in Thailand, brothers and sisters. Now we've got Red Rider. She's up in British Columbia. I lived 40 years just south of British Columbia in the state of Washington, USA. And she lives up there in what I refer to as God's country because you got the tall trees, you've got all the sick. This is what we do. You do the same thing. Brother, you have shared more of my stuff. And I've had a response from people that they said, Sick wanted me to see this. Sometimes it's Motorbomb, Virginia wanted me to see this. Ray Gregory wanted me to see this. And so, yeah, you're one of the kindest human beings. Oh, looky right there. Dave over in Australia, I was just talking about you, man. I was talking about the brotherhood of bikers, and we all come from old school days. Dave will tell you, in the old days in Australia, they had a strong brotherhood. And as time goes, and here's what happened. Ugly politics got involved, and the brotherhoods have been basically decimated by rules and regulations and things that has basically driven people to the criminal element of biking. My group, we're not criminal. We're still the old brotherhood people. Yeah. Oh, look at Cam over in England. Kim is a sweet, wonderful human being that um, he never has a disparaging word about anybody. And then back to America, you got riding on Ruby. Um, he um, he has been driving a school bus for 39 years, and I know he must be loved by so many people because he. You got to keep in mind people that haul my little kids back and forth to school when I had school children. And some of the things you just don't think about is that school bus driver. What a wonderful job he did commuting your kids back and forth to school. And nobody ever says thank you. Um, Dave, I'm so happy you're in here. Yeah, you guys, by all means, talk amongst yourself here because I'm just rattling along. Um, I watched your videos yesterday, Dave, and I watch Sick almost every day. Um, I watched him this morning. He had looked like he had some blood on his chin. I think he was cut. If you had listened to your brothers, you'd let that beard grow out, and then you would not have to worry about nicking yourself with them old razor blades. Oh man, I used to watch my daddy. My daddy had a big old mug, and he would lather up his face, and he would get that straight razor out and run it across the strap. He had hit it a few times, and you could hear him, that old blade. And he would take and wet it a few more times, and he'd have this hot steaming towel. My daddy, before he started shaving, he'd put this big old hot steaming towel on his face, and I mean it would be burning you. And he would steam them whiskers, and then he'd get in there and shave. And we sat and watch him. We used to watch my daddy shave, and he'd get above his lip, and he'd be he'd be stretching his face. Uh, yeah. I've done a lot of things with my daddy. He needed to have all of his teeth pulled, and it was a situation where he had lost calcium from being in the mines for so long, and so I went down there with him with the dentist, and I watched him. He would pull six of Daddy's teeth and throw them over in this thing, and Daddy had a pint bottle of whiskey, Wildcat, moonshine, homemade liquor, and Daddy would take a drink of that whiskey and go and rinse his mouth out, spit over in that basin with that whiskey, and then he'd hand the bottle to Dr. Stinson. Oh, Dr. Stinson would take a big drink of Daddy's whiskey, and Daddy would reach out one more time, and then Dr. Stinson would pull six more teeth, and they would throw them over in that basin. Daddy would do it. They did this till that whole bottle of liquor was gone, and they would suck down on the moonshine. And now it's comes my time. I had a tooth had to be pulled, and Dr. Stinson came over and had that big old needle, big long needle. He reached back in there, and, you know. Oh, thank you. Hey, buddy, thank you very much. You're a moderator. You've got that power. Get rid of them low laughing. I don't need that. I don't need that. My life is complicated as enough. But um, yeah, thank you, buddy. You do. And I saw the other day some bullshitter had came in there, but you made short work of him. Well, he was some faggot. I mean, I'm not being disparaging about people in their the ways that they do life, but hell, some guy come in and talking some gay stuff. We're like guys. I mean, if you want to be gay, that is your business. Go over on your gay channel and be gay. Because hey, when I was a boy, we used to watch the Cisco Kid, him and Pancho, and them two cowboys was known as the Gay Caballeros. Now, you can't say that today, but that was back in the 50s. When you was gay, you was happy back in the day. Now it means a whole different story. Maybe they're happy too. I don't know. I just don't want to go there. You've done a great job on getting rid of those people the other day, and you cleaned my channel up there. You're you're like the main Goomba up in my what do they call that? I'm the grandfather. Yeah, I'm the yeah, and that the drug movie, not Capone. Al Pacino played the role. Yeah, the Godfather. Yeah, the Godfather. You're like my Godfather, man. You're taking care of me. You're taking care of old Mac. Oh, I love it. Yeah, let's go back in the old days when when we had so much freedom. I mean, I know we we probably never get back to there because I won't never see it. But uh, you know, motorcycle riding is an expression of freedom. Um, you're setting your pace. You're in your element. You're feeling good about yourself, and you're watching everybody around you, behind you. Um, I remember when people used to give bikers a little bit of space, but now everybody's in a hurry. They got to get from A to B real quick. And let me see. Dave, it's 1 o'clock in the morning your time, 1:30, 1:30, almost 1:30. Tomorrow, you're already in Thursday. Thursday. Yeah, we need I wish I had something to drink, but my little old woman, she said, I ain't gonna be on the video today. I have a hard time getting her to be a part of my stuff that I do. I don't want to go vertical. I really want to be horizontal. But I got to accept this is the way it is. I can't turn the phone. You can see I got it on auto rotate, but yeah, you see that right there. You didn't see no auto rotate. Yeah. I pull down from the top. I've tried to change the rotation. Thursday. Yep. Now I'm hoping we get to go riding maybe Saturday if Ray Gregory gets back from down in Florida safe and sound. I tell you, I went to Florida in January. You're a good human being there, Dave, and I appreciate you. You got so much going on in your life. You meet people. I love the fact that you can get out and meet people. I liked it when you went down to Fremantle and was sitting there, and you had people coming up, and you're engaging with strangers, which I really love. I do that too. I am outgoing, and I love human beings. And if I see somebody I really like and want to speak with them, I will engage them in conversation. Um, it's a really a nice feeling meeting people. And also, what is really nice to get to show your bike off. I love my bike. Um, people, let me tell you, what a great, wonderful feeling yesterday. I was sitting somewhere in a parking lot, and there was a young man came out with a little boy, maybe 3 years old, and he was trotting along with his daddy, and his daddy was tugging on his arm, and he was looking at me every step of the way. And that little hand came up, and he waved at me, and finally his daddy got tired of dragging on him and turned around to look and see that he really wanted to see my bike. I was sitting there with my helmet on because I was doing I was still doing a live feed. Not live feed, I was doing a moto blogging. And so I was sitting there, and when I waved at that little boy, I tell you, he got so excited that this futuristic guy with this big black helmet on and big black front screen and all that stuff, sitting there all dressed in black, hanging up on that motor, sitting on that big old machine, and that big old creature waved at him. Oh my gosh, he got so excited, and his daddy waved back. Oh, it made me feel good. I love it when people want to engage in conversation and yeah, we had kind of like a lot of people show up here a while ago, and they was all kinds of comments and stuff like that. But I was still concentrating on trying to get myself rotated here. But oh, that kid, he was excited, and his daddy finally, when he picked him up in his arms to set him up in the seat of the pickup truck, the little boy leaned over his dad's shoulder and waved at me again. And one time when I had a big beard, when my beard was really big, before it all fell out because of the big C, um, when I had a lot of hair and everything, um, little kids they'd want to make sure that I waved at them or gave them some attention. And well, in this day and time, you got to be really careful not to make eye contact with almost nobody because it might mean something different. But we used to have this big guy that was on the way to school. We had to walk 2 miles over to the school. And we had this big guy. His name, we called him Uncle Dan. Uncle Dan was not our uncle, but he was known in the area. And he would parch peanuts when the peanuts would come up, he'd parch some peanuts, and he'd give us parched peanuts. And we'd go up there and sit on his front porch, right out in front of everybody. Hey, good afternoon, Kime. We're having a semi-great day. Frustrated, can't get my camera to go sideways. I wanted to do a horizontal. I wanted to do a broadcast outside and do it right so I could read the text. But it ain't happening for me. So anyhow, where was I at? Oh, Uncle Dan. We were sitting out on the front porch out there, and he always had a big water bucket full of water. Back in our days, you had to get water from a spring. We didn't have city water or nothing. And he'd have a dipper there, and you'd go drink out of the dipper, and you always hung the dipper up. So when you hung it up, it would, drain out. And he didn't allow the kids to play in the bucket. He hey, get away from that bucket, boy. Get you a drink and get on out of there. But he would let us eat parched peanuts, and he worked with my daddy in the mine. He had retired from the mine, so he knew every one of us. He knew us. He knew which daddy we belonged to. And my daddy was a popular. Oh, he was popular. He was popular with the ladies. I hope I did. I'm sorry. I think I might have took after him. I don't know. But anyway, he uh, knew everybody when they went by, and he had always asked about your mom and your daddy. And that was the way times were back in them days. Um, we used to, am I popular with the ladies, Kaim? I ain't no more. But when I was younger, um, I told you I was married 5 times, and mostly was nobody's fault except mine. That's a terrible thing. A lot of promises made and promises broken. But hey, there's a song. I wish I could remember who it's by. I bet you Dave knows exactly. There's no future looking back. Whatever is behind you in your life, it's behind you. Who was that singer? Just a really good guy. Had a round, boyish looking face there, and they had a song. There's no future looking back. But here, sadly, people can't move on. They hold on to what is not theirs, and I was really fortunate. I had only one divorce that was really as they say over in your part of the world, Kime, it was a sticky wicket. By Jove, it was a sticky wicket. it it doesn't cost Old Mack a lot of money. That sticky wicket was not a good thing. Oh, I think the women like my bike. I used to ride. I had a Triumph Bunnyville, and I would. People love. I was too. I was so in love with that sound of that two-stroke. That not two-stroke, two-cylinder bike. Um, Harley's had that big old thumping sound, but Triumph had revving sound, and you had the two pipes that when you had it going good. I had a racing Triumph that was built by a guy named Clayton Graham, and it ran on fuel, and it had a fuel injection system. It had been stroked and bored to 750 cc's. He used Norton components in a Triumph and was able to get it up to 750 cc's, and then he put that AMO monoblock system on it. It was a fuel injection type system, and it was like a bonsai engine. When he built it, we built it for drag racing, and every time you'd crank, he had what's called a quarter throttle, and when you turn the throttle on, it was just an explosion between your legs. It just boom, boom. Oh, it was awesome. Before we turned it into a drag racing bike, we raced it in TT and flat tracking. And we took the bike all the way up to, from Central California up to Benton City, Washington. That's over by Pasco, Kennewick, Richland, and then to the west there was Yakima, Grandview, yeah. Um, we raced at Benton City, and it was a big track on dirt, and it had high banks on both ends, And so I had to go out there and do a heat race, and I had a really fast bike. Um, so I'm in the heat race. My brother was my wrench, and my Clayton Graham, he built had built a lot of stuff, and he was racing. He was one of my competitors, and so I go down and I make a couple laps, and I get a chance. This is in the heat race. I think it was like 4 laps in the heat race, and so I didn't get a really good jump, but I come from behind, not from all the way in the back, but I came from the middle of the pack, and I came around high up on the bank, and I shot down to the straightaway, and I was kind of like making a diamond out of the track, and I swept up really high up on the bank, and now all the bikes are below me. They're kind of staggered down below me. I'm high up on the bank, and I go back down into the flat, and hell, I pulled ahead of them. I only got 1 lap to go, and I would be winning my heat race. So as I swept, the inertia pushed my bike way up on the high up on the bank. The chain broke. When the chain broke, old Jerry went over the bank, and I hit a Winnebago. You know what a Winnebago? Winnebago is a motor home. It's one of them little cracker box looking things. I punched him dead center. Not in the front end, about where the kitchen would be. Oh, I punched that thing. Of course, we were insured. We was racing for Coyote Racing, and you had to carry a lot of insurance. And but that was a bad day for the Winnebago. Not a good day for me either. I had to go back to California. I was broken up. It knocked my teeth out. It knocked my teeth out, and I went back to California. And then we had to come to Castle Rock, Washington, after I broke my teeth out. And we were up in a place called Weed, California. Weed is up on, back in the old days, it was the 99 highway before they had the Interstate 5. And I was hurting really bad. My head was all swollen up. And when they knocked my teeth out, they sewed me up and everything. But I was hurting in my head up here, I said, oh, hell, it felt like a lot of fever. So I I went to a dentist. We found one in Weed, California. So I go over there, and I told him, I said, I got a race tomorrow. I'm going to be racing in Castle Rock. That's down there. That's north of Portland before you get up to Olympia, Castle Rock. And so he goes in there and he comes back, and he takes his little old tweezers, and he reached back there and he pulled out a bone about that long, big old piece of my jawbone. See, when it knocked my teeth out back here, when it knocked them out, it just broke them out of my skull. And there's a piece of bone that was under there. When they sewed me up, and that bone it worked itself through the gum, and he pulled it out. And he gave me a shot of penicillin. That's back during the days when you could take penicillin. Oh, Evil Knievel, that kind of guy. Back in our days, we would take Anacin, one of those painkillers. It's Excedrin, yeah, Excedrin. We'd take like 6 of them, put them in our mouth, and we'd hold them in there, and then we would wash them down with a Jack and Coke, and and that would pretty well take the pain away. Most of the time it would. I'm sure it must have done some damage to the old liver. But I'm Irish and we got big livers. As you know, Kym, we got big livers. Uh, in those days, so you didn't concern yourself with a lot of pain. Well, I give you an idea. When I broke my leg on both bones, I broke the leg on Friday, and I went to the hospital, and they performed surgery on me on Sunday. I walked into the hospital. I leaned on Angelique, and we got my leg, put the plates and everything in there, and I walked home. I went and got in my car, and I drove home. And 4 days after I got home, my wife was very ill, 104-degree fever. See, my wife was dying. So I brought my Mustang around, lowered the passenger seat down as far as I could lower it, lowered the back down, opened the door, and we rolled her out in a wheelchair. Remember, I got a broken leg, so I have a wheelchair. We rolled her out in a wheelchair, and when we got to the car, I put my right arm under her legs, and I put my left arm under her back of her neck and under her arm, and I lifted her up and put her in the Mustang, and the pins came out through the side of my leg. I could show you the pinholes. The pins came out of my leg through my skin, and so I take her over to the hospital, and when they got through with her, I had to bring her home, had to lift her up, put her in the car, same way. And when it bent my plates over, my surgeon was so upset at me for doing that. But pain has never been an issue. Somehow I always end up in some kind of a morbid story about pain and grief. It's not all about that. You look for that little bright ray of light, and that's when you're out riding. The sound of the motor is in your head, the feel of the machine. Oh, I ain't whining. I hope I don't come across as whining. Somebody mentioned about how it must have been painful with the broken teeth. There's all forms of levels of pain, but you deal with it. You do what you got to do. So, no, I wasn't whining. I hope I didn't come across that way. Anyhow, let's lighten it up a little bit. Oh, here comes my little woman. She's gonna bring me up. Let me see what she got in her hands. Let me see right here. Let me see if I can do this right here. Old Mack is going to take it. I believe. How the hell I've done touched something on the screen? There we go. I believe Dave has what they call Medication.
Is that your medication?
Honey, you did well.
Thank you. I tried.
You know, for a fat girl, you done. I was going to turn the camera out of the way she was.
Nope, you're not getting that. Nobody gets that.
Go put you some clothes on so you can be on the camera.
No. Never.
Okay.
You need the energy. That's why you.
Do what, honey?
Now you may need the energy.
Oh, I was low. I'm. You know me. I'm always full of energy.
Sure. Keep telling yourself that.
Um. that was one spoiled girl right there. That girl she is so spoiled. She's going to see me to the end. Yeah, she'll check my pulse, and as soon as my pulse goes flatline, she'll go over and get on Amazon. She'll use my computer. Damn it. That little wench, she's going to use my computer, and she's going to get on Amazon and order her something. I bet she's going to buy her an airplane ticket and go up and see Motorbomb, Virginia, and get her. She's going to take her inheritance and get Motorbomb, Virginia to do a tattoo. Yeah, her inheritance. She'd be so mad. She like her tattoos now. I mean, she's always after me to get me a tattoo. Well, tell me, Kaim, I think you're retired. Oh, we did enjoy the tacos. Oh, we have I bought a bottle of Diablo sauce. You can get those little packets at Taco Time called Diablo. And we like the hot Diablo. The Diablo is the hottest they have at Taco Time. Is it Taco Time or Taco Bell? See, in Washington we have Taco Time. But I bought a jug of that Diablo sauce. And so I took my tacos and I sweetened them up with that Diablo. I just poured them in there and then folded the papers back and skinned them back there and eat them suckers like you'd eat a banana. I really. Oh, bless your heart. There you got 3 more years. I retired Kaim when I was 55 years old, and I've been living ever since. What I did, I decided I wanted to try a little traveling, and so I hired on with a trucking company. I had a CDL license. When I was with a military group, we was required. When we first started out, we had chauffeur's license, and then we got what to call an endorsement for combination, and then they grandfathered us into what they call a CDL. And so I went up there near Birmingham. I saw an ad said hiring truck drivers for over the road. So I went in and they gave me a little driving test. They put me in with a driver. They gave me a brand new truck. It had a Caterpillar engine in it. And so we went down and took the driving test with him. And then we started out. And I drove for 6 years. And after I was on there for a little while, they gave me a co-driver. My rig had a condo on it, the sleeper thing. And me and Miss Jenny, she was a retired nurse. Me and Miss Jenny, we traveled 7,000 miles a week. Five on, five off, five on, five off, five on, five off, around the clock, day in and day out, and week in and week out, and you never run out, and your logbook never ran out. We would have companies that would change our oil for us at the right intervals and all that stuff, and they would schedule it, and we'd have to be at this location, maybe up in Montana, maybe at Little America or wherever they had it scheduled for us to go. We'd go there and we'd catch up on things, or you got to send in all your log sheets in, and you got all your data card, you got your fuel and all that stuff, and a lot of times you'd have to renew your get more money because you would have a flat or you'd damage something. You'd have to spend a lot of money on your card, and they'd have to give us another 1,500 or whatever. Um, yeah, that was 6 great years. I got to videotape everywhere I went. I took my rig over to. I was in the Badlands. I went over to Mount Rushmore, and as soon as I got on the road going out there, it says no commercial rigs. I went, oh hell! I think I was pulling. I think the flatbed I had then was only like 47 feet, or it wasn't a big one. It was a kind of a specialty deck that we used. 47 feet, maybe it was. Um, anyhow, um, I got down on this big place where I could pull over, and I thought I ain't going to go any further. And if somebody parks here, I'll get them to stop the traffic for me, and I can make about 3 cuts, and I can get this rig turned around right here, and I can head out of here. Well, I saw this young guy come down. He'd been up on the top of the monuments, and he come walking down there. He had a backpack on his back. He had all kinds of tripods and cameras and stuff. Um, anyhow, I asked him. I said, "Could I get you, buddy, to go over and stop that traffic coming from the Mount Rushmore? This other traffic I could see, and they could see me, but I couldn't see around the curve." I said, "If you go over and stop them over there, so I can." I've got this thing figured out where I can do it in like 3 cuts. And he said, "Why ain't you going on up there?" I said, "Well, I'm a commercial rig, and the fine is just unbelievable." He said, "Hop in my car and I'll take you up there so you can get some video." So he took me up there. A guy I don't even know. He takes me up. Oh, I went to Mount Rushmore, did my video and pictures and all that stuff. Came back, and he went over at that corner at the curve, and he blocked the traffic. So I did my he from where he was standing, he could see where my rear wheels were, and I think I had like 8 or 10 feet of bed past the wheels, maybe 15 feet. I don't remember. I don't remember now, but I asked him to watch and let me get my wheels as close as I could get to the cliff. So I back up there, and he raised his hand, and I put the big old squeezer on the brakes and did the turn and went straight. And then I finally got pointed in straight. And then he had to watch one more time. This time as the wheels were coming around, he threw that big hand up, and because see, on my side of there, the wheel is closer to the edge than his is. And I figured if he's doing that, waving his hand right now, my wheel, it's out of my sight. See, I can look in the mirror. I can't see where that rear wheel is at all. And anyhow, we made that cut, and I waved by at him, and we come up out of there, and we went to Rapid City, And I pulled in at the truck stop there at Rapid City, and I don't know if it was a Love or whatever it was there at Rapid City. I met this Indian guy. This Indian guy had just came. He'd went to some law school back in Washington D.C. back in Washington, and he was an Indian from that part of the maybe Sioux Indian. I don't know whatever the tribe is there in that area, and he had become a lawyer. And what an interesting guy. We had supper together. Um, I just love Native American people, and we had a supper together, and he told me about the purpose of getting his law degree. Ezel, I think it's Ezel. He's E.T. Green High from Turkey. Oh, I have a I have a fondness for Turkey. We used to have an operation when we was doing the NATO thing back during the NATO days. We they used to send our team over to Izmir. Izmir is on the coast there, a little coastal area. If you live in Turkey, you know where Izmir is at. They would send our teams over there, and what we was doing, we was upgrading uh, our radar defense system that stretched from over by Italy, over across from Europe all the way up into Scandinavia, so we could defend ourselves, protect ourselves. Us and the Brits. Well, I used to work with the British commandos. Let me tell you this, Kime. Um, Let me tell you this, Kime. One time I was at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and we were over at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. What we was doing, we came from Whiteman Air Force Base down to Fort Leonard Wood to meet up with a bunch of Army Rangers and British commando guys. Now, back in the day, we used to go to a lot of effort to keep our Nike system and the various air defense systems we had. That's before we did the the Peacekeeper or the Iron Dome that the Israelis are using now. And anyhow, so we're out there, and it takes 2 days to get to the Nike site. Now, the Nike site was guarding Whiteman Air Force Base from incoming missiles, not nuclear ICBMs, but somebody. Well, anyhow, it was protecting the Nike system, and so the Army Rangers had got this big turtle in the out of this pond. This thing was 3 foot across. Big old, what they call a terrapin or soft shell turtle. I don't know my turtles very well, but um, you know, the Brits, the commando people, and them, the Army Rangers was good at eating blackberries and maybe eating a possum or something like that. But the Brits, by Jove, and they got in there and they had them little short pants on. And all of us was wearing BDUs, and all the Army guys was wearing BDUs, and so was we. Because keep getting our legs scratched up. You could only walk in. You couldn't drive a vehicle, and you couldn't fly a helicopter. You could, but they didn't want you to fly in by helicopter because it has a signature that the Russian satellite could pick up. And by Jove, old chap, pip pip and hooray! I learned that on TV. Uh, anyhow, you know what was really amazing? Now, I digress a lot when I'm talking, so sometimes you have to hit me to get me started back straight. But uh, we were eat up with ticks. We spent most of the time picking ticks off one another, but the 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 Brits never got any ticks on them. But they fixed our turtle. They cooked turtle. You know what they used to cook the turtle with? They got some rocks and they lit C4. They lit these pinched off C4 and got the wood going, and then after they got the wood going, that C4 burns really, really hot. C4 is like a plastic explosive stuff, and I didn't have none on me, or I'd be playing with it. They couldn't trust me with that stuff. I'd be figuring out some kind of way to load it in my gun. Anyhow, oh my gosh, they had picked what we after the Army Rangers had got the turtle. Them Brits, they knew all the stuff. Hey, 2-4, 2 before. 2-4, you was talking about Time to Go. You're talking about that handsome young fella. That's Time to Go, yeah. Or you might have been talking about Sick over there. Sick didn't look good this morning. I got to tell you, he was all rangy looking. He had a cut on his chin. He was just having a hard time getting started out for the day. Anyhow, they cooked this turtle. And you know the old saying, it tastes like chicken. Damned if it didn't taste like chicken. They used some of their MREs. I don't know what they had in the can. They had canned MREs, and they they seasoned that stuff up. And the Army, they like a lot of pepper in their stuff, and I think it's an Army Ranger thing. And I don't think the British are really big on them kind of hot spices, but it was seasoned well. And we ate that. Oh, let me take another sip of this most refreshing. That little heifer, she brought me a drink. Ooh, yes. Uh-huh. So we eat good right there. Sick, I'm telling the stories here. And by the way, Sick, tell me what happened to your chin this morning. Did you cut yourself shaving? um, See, me and Dave, we don't have to worry about it. We just let it all hang out. I think it was live. I thought it was live this morning. I may have looked at something. Oh, hey, like you, I'm like a goose. I wake up every day in a different world. The world from the time I go to sleep, it's done changed into something different. Sometimes it feels that way. You go, oh hell, how did I get here? Oh, kind of want to know as I get like the ladies and everything. So this lady took me home from a bar. She didn't think I was safe enough to drive. So she loads me up in her car and takes me home. And somewhere during the night, Old Mack, I think I was in my 40s, Old Mac needed to go to the bathroom. Well, Old Mac then crawled out of that bed with that most lovely lady, as lovely as a lady can be after all night drinking. Um, I went out of the room and I began to look around for a bathroom. And so by all chances, I just kind of figured the way. Here's this and here's that, and the bathroom's got to be over here. So I go in, and sure enough, there's a bathroom. So now I go to the bathroom. I come out of there, and I'd made the wrong turn, and I find myself kind of wandering around like this utility area. Like her washing machine was here and there, and now I go through this door and I go, what the hell? And I said, oh, wait a minute. So I started back and I finally found the kitchen. There's no lights on in the house. There's clocks on the range, and I can see a little bit of light there, and there's a little bit of light coming through the windows there at night from the street lights. And next thing I know, a nice warm hand touched my arm, and I turned around, and it was that little woman. And I go, she said, what's going on? Are you leaving? I go, no, I'm trying to come back to you. She said, follow me. So she took me and finally got me in that hallway and then took me over here. And finally, I don't know how I did it. Somehow I had went up 3 steps and did not know, but I was up on the 2nd level and she heard me walking around. And so she come and got me, took me back down there. I was really happy she found me. Old Max had some hard days. One time a lover, I was with her for 2 years. A Mexican woman, a beautiful woman, had them eyes, God almighty, she had them black eyes, had that hair, oh God, was she ever nice. She had everything a man likes. She was Spanish. She was Hispanic. She could speak fluent Spanish, but she also, her ancestry was Mexican. Great cook. And we was together for a couple of years, and I began to want to wander around a little bit more because I was single and I didn't think being tied down for a couple of years was being what a single guy should be doing. So we had a discussion about my departure. And she was really angry that I wanted to depart her. And she demanded that I leave right now. And I told her, I'm not leaving no 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to leave like a thief in the night. I will leave in the morning. I came here in the daylight, and I'm leaving in the daylight. Well, I went in and got in bed. A few minutes later, I hear her come into the door. She opens the door, and the light from the hallway shined on the wall right next to me. And I could see it was her, and I thought, well, here's the point where she's going to come in, and we're going to make up sex. We're going to have the moment every guy likes, make up sex. So here she comes over to my side of the bed. I thought she's going to sit here, so I kind of scrooched over a little bit. No, she opened the door. She opened the drawer right next to me. And I heard her fiddling around in there, and then I heard the magazine as it slid into the 45. She had a Glock 45 beside the bed, and she shoved the magazine in it, and I heard her go, oh, I heard her pull the slide back. I got, oh, shit, this is getting serious. So she walked back over to the door, and the light is shining in from the hallway, and there she stood with a gun in her hand. She had it hanging down to her side. And I thought, Old Mac is at the end of his rope. Everybody terminates. But this ain't the way Old Mac wanted to go. Mac had planned to live till he just died, but not be killed. So I thought about it, and then I said, this is between wife number 4 and wife number 5. I said, I'm a mother effing loser. I don't deserve to be here. If she caps a bullet in my head, it's all over with. It'll be so quick I won't even know it. I I'm going to watch it. If I see that flash, that means she missed. And then she shut the door. I saw the door and the light went off in my room. It was black. When I woke up the next morning, I began to get my stuff together like I said I would. Parting is such sweet sorrow. She was a lover. She was all woman. Old Mac was willing to take a bullet for that woman. But it was time to move on. I did, and listen to this. I moved on. And a week or two, and just one more, I'm going to end this thing here in a minute. My sister says to me, would you like a date with a beautiful woman? She's got everything you like. She's educated. She's college educated. She's a manager. She has skill sets. She's an artist. She's beautiful. And I'm thinking about that bullet in the back of the head, which I didn't get on that story. And I thought, well, there might be room for a work in another story where she, maybe this one's going to be the one that's going to do it. And so I agreed to a Saturday meeting. And she comes in. Ah, oh, them long legs. That black hair. Oh, she had such hair. Oh, Brad. Oh, she had all that stuff a guy likes. And she walked through the door and them pants were so damn tight. They were tight. They caught my eye. And so we went out and we had a nice dinner. And then we had she said she had a desire for a second date. I figured maybe old Mac could give her a little bit of attention and we might get another date. Well, sure enough, she did. She basically asked me out on another date. So I said, I think I can work you in. So we dated for a little while, and I had just bought a new Lincoln Town Car. It was a limited edition. It was one of those divorce deal. I got the Lincoln Town Car in the divorce, and we were sitting out by the lake being romantic, and a tap on the window, damn local law. Hey, what's going on in there? We had our clothes on, and we wasn't doing anything yet. And the cop, I rolled my window down, and he said, we seen the windows all steamed up. I explained, we had to show ID while we was out there at the lake, at the park. And she liked it the way I handled the situation. And pretty soon, me and her went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and got married. She was going to be the one that was going to bury old Mac. I married her on the day I turned 50, 34 years ago. And it almost worked out. If I call Angelique a fat ass again, she'd probably cap a bullet off of me too. Of just, she knows I'm joking. I'm telling you, let's see if I'm losing everybody. I hate to just. Oh, there's 8 people in here. Kime, you're so loyal. You stuck it out for quite a while. Oh, Laowal, I believe it is. I can't see you on my screen. I can only see you on that screen over there because this thing refuses to continue on scrolling. It just ain't. Oh, I see. Oh, it is Laowai. Well, God bless you if I can't say your name correctly. Leowai. I was close. These are all true stories. You don't see no script. You don't see. I don't have a teleprompter over here. All I have is the stories that's in my head as they come by. And some people find it interesting because everybody don't get the same kind of exciting laugh that I had. Um, they don't get the exciting laugh. They live vicariously through me. I had a really, oh man, we'd have so much fun. I would try to learn your language. Y'all speak English. And I've been working for 84 years on trying to speak English. And, but I've had so many, I see up in engineering, we'd get these people come over from England and some really great people. And I learned a lot about your food. See, on Thursday, we had food on Thursday. Oh, I've got to spend a lot of time. Um, I work with a lot of great people from all around the world. And we used to have these conferences, and we'd sit around the table, and everybody's got a microphone right here. And so Old Mack had to give a presentation for the Boeing company. We was trying to get allocated money for a project. I don't remember which governmental project, but we was trying to get what was trying to do. The way it works there, the Boeing company, the big company itself, aerospace, they get us some contracts. And then we have to meet these contract obligations. We got to get these MBU, different organizations within Boeing, to come on board with us so that we can use their testing equipment. So we don't have to go out and buy all new stuff. And so we was having this meeting to try to get money for a project. And so I knew this was going to be a really important meeting. So I went to my doctor, Dr. William Morrison, and I said, Doctor, I got a really important meeting to do tonight, and I'm nervous as hell. And I said, do you have anything that you could give me so I'll remain calm? I don't want my brain to be paralyzed. I want to be just calm. Calm. I don't want to be, that way. I want to be calm. He said, I got just a thing. So he goes over there and he had to get them. They're like these jobbers from these different pharmaceutical companies that left him samples. So he got 3 or 4 samples for me of the same thing, and he said, now here's what you do. 1 hour before you speak, you take one of these, and you're going to be really calm. I said, oh, okay. So I take my pill, just like he said. Unfortunately, what happened, they brought in an MIT person. Now, this MIT was going to bring us technology that we needed. We were developing a new vertical welding machine. It was laser tracking. I can't remember what it was called, but it was very advanced technology for our missile silos. We were doing these vertical welds where you got a little track that runs alongside and the thing oscillates back and forth and it welds. It's not like the kind where the flux is just dumped on the well. This is was it required a lot of engineering, and we had the MIT people there, and so she spoke, and she had brought 3 or 4 experts with them, with her, lady from the MIT, and each of them spoke. And I've got an itinerary, and it tells me who else is going to speak. And I had this itinerary when I went to see the doctor, but I didn't know she was going to bring these guests, these other guests. So I was feeling a little bit. I looked and I'm like 9 or 10 down on the list. We're around this big conference table. So Jerry done reached in there and opened up a pack and sucked down some water and swallowed the second pill. And because I was still feeling anxious at this point. So wasn't very long. Everything felt calm. And they said, and representing A6600, which is engineering, and said, representing, and they gave me my name and my credit. They read off credits there for 5 minutes. I thought, well, hell, they're talking about somebody else. Ain't no way that they could be talking about me. I'm just a damn dumb redneck from Alabama that ended up in something like this. I shouldn't even be here. And then the medicine kicked in, and I said, but I love it. So after they got through telling all these people around the table who in the hell I was, it's my time to speak. I don't know if you've ever taken codeine or anything like that, but it makes your vocal cords very relaxed. And you sort of talk, oh, hello, well, anyhow, I'm afraid that my voice ain't going to be strong. So old Mac, he leans over to speak into the microphone. You got to keep in mind, I was a ham radio operator. I've been speaking for years on the radio, so I know about projecting your voice and stuff like that. But under the influence of drugs, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. So I leaned over, and my nose hit the end of that sponge rubber around the microphone. It was a big old Shure microphone. And all them speakers, hundreds of speakers around this big conference thing, it went, good evening. Oh, it sounded like something from another zone, man. I mean, I was totally zoned out, and so I was able to pull it together, started talking, and then he started to ask me a question. And the doctor, she raised her hand, and I recognized her from MIT, and she said, I just got to ask you. She said, I'm an expert on languages and accents and dialects. She said, you're a Southerner, aren't you? I go, yes, ma'am. She said, I bet you I can tell you where you're from just from your accent. She said, where are you from? I said, well, I told her I was from the South. And she said, oh, I know you're from the South. But what part of the South? And I said, South King County. Because we was living in South King County at the very end of King County. And the people around there laughed so hard. She said, no, I really need, let me guess. She said, you're from Arkansas. No, she said Mississippi. And then you know the history of this team right here, playing the old rebels over there in Mississippi. There's quite a bit of rivalry between us and them. And I said, hell no, I'm from Alabama. We use Mississippi as a parking lot. Our crowds are so big. When they come to our games, we have to park the people in Mississippi so they can get to our games. Okay, let me read what's going on. Hey, okay. Has everybody left? I don't know. Oh, there's still people in here. All right. Well, I think there ought to be a good time to go away. I didn't get to see Motorbomb Virginia today. I didn't get to see. Oh, Ray Gregory is on his way to Florida. I know he is. I'll be going down that way pretty soon. There's quite a few people we're missing today, but they've seen it's Old Mack, and they said we've already seen his tired old crap, you know. And I try to tell a different story every time. You know, old people get in the habit of saying the same thing over and over, and I'm pretty conscious of that about old people. Oh, I have come to your live. Here's the deal: you got about 3 or 4 guys in there. That one guy wears a flat-looking hat. Um, and I have made comments, but a lot of times you guys have got a conversation going between yourselves, and then it rolls up, and y'all don't ever see the comment. And I'll make a couple of comments, but it's I don't have. I guess my timing is a little bit would be off, and I'm not timing it just right. And the flat cap, yeah, that's the guy, flat cap racer. Yep, a cafe racer. You've got a really a nice. That's like when me and Sick and Motor Bomb and Ray Gregory and quite a few people. Two before American Outlaw. We get a whole bunch of people in there. We'll start passing along amongst ourselves, and we forget to look at the chat. I will on the next live. Uh, on the next live, I will. I'll keep sending text messages to you guys. See that I'm in there. Um, but I hate to interfere when you guys got a good. You know, I watched you when you laid out your thing about doing the left hand turns and right hand turns. I did it. I told you. We communicated about that. I went out of here. I made my left hand turn on Washington Boulevard and went all the way around. It was quite a ride around there, and came right back here and came down here. And then the next you said go right. Well, it's the same route. All right hand turns going back the other way. But I live in the woods, so you have to go quite a few miles before the next turn. We don't have no city streets or blocks or nothing. Let me take one more sip. This is what gives Old Mack energy right here. Woo, that's good. Okay, you can come on live video if you wish. I am. I think I am live. I'm live here. Oh, over on your live. Oh, okay. Hey, come to go. I thank you very much for coming over and joining me today, and you and Sick and all you wonderful people. Um, for coming in. I haven't gained anything. I still can't turn the camera sideways. I can't see the text. I'm seeing it now. I've got it where it comes up on the bottom right below me where I can see that. But um, she amazes me sometimes. Some of the things. Well, we actually create a lot of new dishes. We like casseroles, and her and I will think up a casserole, and we'll do it. She loves broccoli, and so she always has to. She likes to incorporate broccoli. Broccoli. I do a lot of southern cooking. She loves my chicken. I do. I tell you what I do. I do a standard southern fried chicken, and she loves it because I make a dredge up. In fact, I got a video of me making a dredge up. Yeah, vitamins full of iron, and so I and drop that over. What I do is I've got a big strainer, and I get my pot full of boiling oil. I use peanut oil to boil it in, and then I put this dredged chicken, in this nice, spicy dredge, and then I lower that down into my basket. Something I made myself. I didn't buy a deep fryer. Now that's a dangerous thing to do because if you get spill over, it could be a big fire. But I hold it down in there, and while it's cooking, I will turn over the pieces. I'll raise it up, roll them over, and then drop it back down into grease, and I cook that till it's golden brown. That bread, we like this dredge that we make has crunch to it, and it is so. I only use chicken breast. I cut like chicken tender strips, and we always make. I love making mashed potatoes with lots of butter. That wonderful cook over there in Georgia, can't even think of her name. She's a beautiful woman, platinum silver looking hair. Uh, she is a really good, but she says use a lot of butter. Butter is good, and we do. I baked my wife a birthday cake before she expired, and she ate a little piece of it. Made us feel really good. She loved my cooking. Um, yeah, we do a lot of Southern cooking. Okay, I promise I'd let everybody off the hook. It's been 1 hour and 42 minutes, and vertical. I hate vertical. It just ain't natural. But I love each and every one of you that come to visit me today, and let me say from the bottom of my heart that you're number one in my book, in my life. What makes you number one is your ability to listen to my ramblings, the ramblings of an old man. You ain't lived until you hear the slide of a 40 cal right above your head. Oh, I already done it. I selected landscape. Oh, yeah, I did that. Yeah, buddy, I can pull that down there and I hit the landscape, but oh no, yeah, I've done that. Um, I what I done this morning is I completely reset my phone to the very beginning. It's bought new last year, and I reset it, thinking maybe I'd got something out. No, I didn't. See, when you rotate yours over, you got a little picture of yourself over in the left hand side of the screen, and you got your text over on the right hand side. I don't have that. I can't do that. If I turn it over, even if I got it in landscape mode, the whole screen is of me. and I want it to be like Motorbomb Virginia. He sent me on how to do it, and I'm a good reader, and I read it, and I done exactly what he told me to do. Yeah, I did that too. I went in the YouTube studio here on the phone. Um, yeah, I went in and I set landscape versus portrait. Um, I think I will continue to work on it. So you might see me again still trying to do it. Yeah, I did that a couple of days ago. I followed everything on YouTube Studio, but oh, my little woman's back. Come over close. You don't have to be on the screen, but it's just I told you to put clothes on, woman. God Almighty. Mm-mm-mm. So, what you got something cooked?
No.
What? Oh! My little woman here. Come here, tell me how hungry you are. You don't have to
I'm
get
not
on the
hungry.
camera, huh?
I'm not hungry.
You don't want to. Oh, you already eat?
No, I'm just in general. I'm just not hungry.
Yeah.
Want a couple of corn dogs?
I'm gonna shut this down now, and I'll work on it, Kime. Yeah, I went in the studios, turned it. Oh yeah, I can turn my I can set it. I can do all those things. But unfortunately, unfortunately, when I turn it, it's still full picture. This whole screen is a full picture, and there's text over there. If I touch the screen, it'll pop up and go right away. Pop up and go right away. There's no room for it to be on there because I'm consuming the whole damn picture. And so I reset the phone, and I thought it would squinch it down to where you'd have that line. Normally you have a line. If you touch it, you can see how much time has been used. And then over on the right, you're gonna have your text there, but nope. I ain't got that to working yet. See, I don't have anybody that I could call on the phone. I go like, "Hey, Gomer Bob, I got an issue here. Could you come over here and help me straighten out this issue?" All right, love you. You guys all take care. Got to go feed the woman. God bless.